Hello everyone, welcome to BaseTradeTV, where we are bringing you the coverage of the Corsair Cup number 30. My name is Fear Dragon, and I'm joined by the lovely Zombie Grub today. How you doing?
Am I right?
You had a very long weekend, didn't you?
Yeah, all the solo casting really it was quite tiring, but I slept most of yesterday after that, so it's fine.
Yeah. Well, welcome everyone. For those who are not familiar with the Corsair Cup, it's a weekly event that we do over here on BaseTradeTV, and it has a $100 prize pool, $60 for first place, $20 for second place, third and fourth place get $10 each, and we are getting started right off the bat with a round of 32 match between KeeN and Andromeda. Now, I think most people are going to be familiar with KeeN. Andromeda, probably going to be a little bit of an underdog in the series, I would say just like a tad bit. But apparently he's a Norwegian Terran player? Okay, maybe I just have the wrong person on Ligulac. Well,
Yeah, I was like, wait a minute. Maybe he wanted to change his race, so I didn't call you out on it, but
actually, no. I do have him listed as a Terran player. It is a
okay.
teamless Norwegian player. So,
There you go.
hey, it sounds okay. Let's go ahead and get started then, since I guess the game's already ready. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, here we are in game number 1 for the Corsair Cup. We have, in the bottom right-hand corner of the map, the pink Terran player. Give it up for Andromeda. It's also an Icy Cup map.
Or you know. The top left as the blue Terran, he is KeeN.
What's he keen on?
Winning usually. Usually wins these Corsair Cups.
Usually
one of
does
few.
pretty well. Coming
Yeah.
in, stopping the Koreans. Need some North Americans in there that can beat those Koreans.
Man, North Americans never sign up for this thing, even in summer break.
It blows my mind. Like, I understand some players in North America, like the West Coast players, they have really, really terrible ping. I totally get that. But those East Coasters have no excuse. It's like at a good hour for them, too. It's like 1 p.m. for them.
Yeah, it is. It's great for me. So
Yeah.
I agree.
One of these
I wish
days.
that more would sign up. Yeah, one of these days. But he said it while we were getting into the lobby, or well, actually the map, I believe, that Andromeda is going to be the underdog here. Don't know much about him, and we know a lot about KeeN. I mean, that KeeN almost always makes it to at least the semifinals of the tournaments that he participates in, unless he has a really bad day. I'm looking at the bracket really quickly for him. I thought this looked appealing, not because we know Andromeda that well, obviously, but because the next match might be KeeN versus Healer,
Mm-hmm.
and BaseTradeTV likes Healer, Healer likes BaseTradeTV, and he's always fun to watch too. And then beyond that, I think it would be KeeN versus Sleep, who is a Korean Zerg. So decent bracket of like okay matches, but all things that I think KeeN will take on, win.
Yeah, I think it should be interesting either way. I know that there were a couple other people that I wanted to keep an eye out on in the bracket. Trying to remember some of them, as I very obviously alt tab out and the music stops. But yeah, I think we had there were definitely a few people that I wanted to keep an eye out for.
Yeah.
Demaga is also one of those people that he's signed up today and he's playing, but I feel like I haven't really seen Demaga perform for a while now. So I'm always really hoping whenever I see him.
Yeah, I mean, he appears and he's like, I guess, trying to still be decent at the game. I guess like I don't know his actual intentions. I don't talk to the guy, but he does sign up for a lot of these tournaments. And we also have like Zake, which is kind of interesting, seeing him actually checked in and whatnot. It's kind of a old school name that I didn't think was doing too much lately. He was actually really fun. Like I met him at Home Story Cup last year. And even then, like I didn't think he was doing so well, but he was participating in tournaments. Cass is back, and of course Guru has also been recently participating in a lot of our tournaments. Tails. I mean, we have the usual contenders, I suppose, for the Corsair Cup.
Yeah, it definitely makes sense. That's a little bit of cute micro from KeeN. Just I always enjoy whenever I see like the mules expiring and the player brings them off to make sure that they don't just lose the minerals. But
Yeah.
I guess just speaking about the opening, Andromeda does go for the 2 Reaper opening. I mean, so does KeeN, but Andromeda's going to be the one that's getting a little bit more aggressive over here. And he should be able to find a couple SCVs.
It's a little annoying for KeeN to deal with. Actually, if Andromeda had waited, KeeN would have pushed out eventually with this. And he does save both his Reapers, so he can just come back in later. But that's something that KeeN's going to have to always be wary of. So he's trying to, wall the Reapers away with the left side of King Sejong. But it takes 3 supply depots. So
Yeah, I've
a
always
while yet.
wondered if you do something like that, because I feel like there are like tank pushes and everything that can always happen, and I feel like if you're ever in that position where you're like pushing in behind the destructible rocks of the natural expansion, I would just like send one siege tank up there to start taking out the supply depots, just like do that extra bit of free damage.
Sometimes it's worth it. We'll see if it even gets to that stage though, where they're actually on each other's, I guess, tank lines. They are both going for tanks now, and certainly harassment could start coming down because they have medevacs available. But seriously, not much going on. Pretty passive TvT.
Yeah, pretty much. The Reapers are doing a nice little bit of harassment as KeeN tries to sort of awkwardly move out with his Marines, and then he says, oh wait, Reaper grenades. I guess that's going to cause some problems. He's taking a lot of damage, especially considering I guess his medevac hasn't really joined up with his army yet.
Yeah, I did wait for the tank, I guess, so... yeah, heal everything up, but it is a good use of the Reapers while you still have them for Andromeda. Again, like, he could have waited off to the left side and tried to hop up, but the supply depot wall-off, I think, is about to be done. So that time's away and done. Has his own tank flying around. Probably should have tried... Oh, he thought he was gonna... Oh, okay, that's a mistake. He thought he was gonna go the other direction.
Yeah, the Hellion was chasing his Reapers in that direction, so unfortunately that means he's gonna miss his first, like, couple of shots off with his siege tank, but... Well, he should still be able to get into a position to defend, but these Reaper grenades are causing a lot of problems for Andromeda as he tries to move down that ramp.
Yeah, it's already a very good position for KeeN to have. I mean, it's not that much of an attack, to be honest, right? Like, it's one medevac full of units and a tank. But the Viking comes in here, too. Shouldn't die. Unfortunately, messed up by KeeN a little bit there.
KeeN might end up losing this siege tank. No, managed to get out with it, just barely. But, Andromeda does finally clean up after losing 12 SCVs. Ugh. Oh, God. Oh, God.
Stop. No, no, stop.
Andromeda?
Stop.
Andromeda?
Stop.
Andromeda? Okay,
Oh my
there
God. Why it happened? Okay, well, yeah, like you said, 12 SCVs went down, so that was certainly a worthwhile attack for KeeN. He could have probably stuck around longer, actually, if he was less aggressive with that drop and also kept his Viking alive. But I guess it's been so long since these Koreans have joined these European tournaments. I mean, they've been doing this for, like, since Legacy of the Void, I want to say. Really consistently appearing at very odd hours. You know, in Korea, it's 2 a.m. right now. But also participating on the European server that I couldn't even bother mentioning the fact that that might affect their micro a little bit. It seems like they don't care enough, and maybe it doesn't really. I don't know their life, but sometimes you see something like that Viking dying, you're like, that shouldn't have happened.
Yeah, and then I also see stuff like, oh, the siege tank almost dies, but he picks up for the last second. It's like, oh, was that a little bit of lag, or was that intentional? Was he just like, I can actually take this damage with this tank? Who knows?
Yeah, that's always a little bit weird. I mean, sometimes you do have the Koreans face against each other, like eventually, and we just go to Korea. But actually, though, the seeding is always done pretty well. We usually have Koreans versus the hero Europeans, like Guru, basically.
Yeah,
I'm thinking
it's like
Guru.
we have a really good admin or something. Oh,
No.
that medevac gonna go down. Only unloads 3 of the Marines, and well, shouldn't be able to get too much more damage. Maybe he'll kill off his own siege tank. Yeah, but not a whole lot. Or sorry, SCV.
Yeah, you know what you meant. He does have his upgrades on the way. Of course, Andromeda already has stim and combat shields, and unfortunately, like, that's where drops are a lot more effective for him usually. Well, not if you lose the medevac and all your Marines in it, so that does really suck. And there's no other pressure going on right now. There's no, use of these faster upgrades. And, well, if it's not happening now, then that means KeeN's gonna have his Marine upgrades, but also a literal upgrade advantage with 1-1.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think that if he was able to make use of his faster stim and combat shields, he would be in a pretty decent position. Or even actually if he was able to somehow catch KeeN's army as moving across the map, because they are both moving across the map. Andromeda is going to catch wind of the Cyclone and some of these medevacs loaded up with the siege tanks, but Andromeda is sort of limbo lining in over here.
Yeah, very unfortunate too, because this attack happened before KeeN's +1 armor and stim was done. So really, if everything had met together as Andromeda would have wanted, his, he could stim and then split and get that better concave. But yeah, it was just, KeeN was already in a concave and Andromeda was lining up. And might just be game over. too many tanks for him to deal with. Already, and again, get a good position, and now just Marines rallying forward.
Yeah, I mean, it's at the point where it's 34 Marines to 9 Marines. KeeN definitely has a very large advantage, and even siege tanks, not to mention a good positioning. Gonna be able to whittle away at the natural expansion and at least force some of the SCVs off of mining.
Yeah. Well, the third CC should be going down here as the SCVs are pulled away for Andromeda, but doesn't give him house command center. Get it.
Right, there's a stim up. Well, SCV's coming in from behind to try and go for the flank, but it's mistimed. All the SCVs at the back die first, and it looks like that's going to be all she wrote for Andromeda in game number 1. Even though it started off not looking that bad for him, it definitely started to snowball.
Yeah, it did. The good news is the next map is going to be Andromeda's map choice. Not that I think it really affects a mirror matchup that much. There might be some cheesy options if he chooses the right map.
Alright, well, of course, first game of the day, I always forget, like, oh yeah, I didn't load up my soundboard, and oh yeah, I didn't play the map intro, and all this other stuff, so close.
Yeah.
So close to getting my production setup going.
Almost. Well, I had a couple of resubs, so let's quickly shout them out. To start things off today, I believe we had Shook Nasty 69 resub for 6 months. XI Smash IX resub for 25 months. Nathanias resub for 25 months. Cable Lag resub for 19 months. And Ronin Dude resub for 13 months.
Oh snap. Already getting some of those big subs in.
Yeah, that's actually a lot of big numbers there. It's going to be Frost. It's Andromeda's map choice. So a bit surprising. That's like... It's basically a macro map. Even
I really do feel like I think it favors Terran a little bit on this map.
Yeah, right. Terran has a good chance on this map.
I don't know, like as someone who oftentimes when I enter tournaments am facing off versus players that I'm just like, there's no way in hell I'm ever going to actually beat them, or the likelihood of it is incredibly low. I find like it's better, not necessarily always to just be like, oh, this is like a good macro map and everything, just like. I think everyone has the maps that they feel super confident on, or they feel super comfortable on. That isn't necessarily even race specific. It's just like, I like this map. So I kind of feel like it's best. You're better off doing that, like going by that logic than purely by this would be a good game to end the series early on.
It's also like, for me, if I were to join any of these tournaments, I would want to stay in the game as long as possible against this pro gamer.
Yeah.
See what I can learn and stuff like that. I don't know if it's a Jobber's plan.
I miss that. I miss people thinking more that way. I could go on a whole rant about that and how Smash Brothers has a good system for facing pros and making it feel like prestigious, but
calm down,
I'm not going to go into that. We're going to hop into the next game. Game number 2, we'll see you guys there. Alright, here we are in game number 2, ladies and gentlemen, as we start down in the bottom right-hand corner of the map, atop of the pink Terran player. Give it up for Andromeda from Norway.
And top left as the blue Terran, he is KeeN from Korea.
I like how Oli Moly's just like, what? You're talking shit about me?
So she assumes whenever she hears something about an admin.
I guess, in most cases, that's probably a fair assumption. But
yeah, maybe.
Oli Moly is the exception.
Yeah, well, I get what you mean. Yeah. Yeah, most admins lately have been, They should hire Oli Moly. I mean, I'm just throwing it out there for the 500 people watching.
Right?
Tell DreamHack to get its shit together.
Oh, we were trying to be named anonymous there.
What? I don't know. You
tell tournament organizers to get their shit together.
Yeah, it's not like we had a whole discussion about this on a talk show.
So anyways, we have natural expansions going down. Definitely makes a lot of sense. And you were saying especially like this can be one of the more macro-oriented maps, regardless of whether or why the reason was that Andromeda picked this map. It does tend to lead toward macro-oriented games, especially with these spawn positions.
Yeah, cross spawn would be hard to do. I mean, really, TvT is so open for a lot of different things. I mean, you even have mech kind of making a comeback, but in terms of build orders especially, like you can start off on 1 base and actually do a macro game or 2 base, or you can even, in extreme cases, go for like a 3D greedy third. There's a bunch of different options, but usually Frost you're more likely to go for the second base and the third base than you are for the one base build, even if it could technically manage to work. But they both go for the command center. One a little earlier than the other. KeeN, I think, got his... What did he get first? Like his factory first before the command center. That's why it's a little bit later. It's like 10 seconds.
It's pretty similar to the last game where KeeN ends up going for that very fast factory straight up to the starport, trying to get that up as fast as possible, whereas Andromeda really seems to favor going for the 2 racks opening, getting out a faster tech lab for combat shields and stim. You know what? That last game, he really wasn't able to take advantage of the stim timing and like combat shields finishing up first. But maybe this game, like the reason why he couldn't really take advantage of it last game was just because he kind of got caught out on the map in a weird angle. But I think if he was all joined together, he may have actually been able to take that engagement with stim.
I agree. This is a little problematic. I mean, especially on cross-spawn big map, these type of attacks, and this is also off of 2 bases, not even like the full 1 base build, they really shouldn't snowball. And this isn't snowballing, but it is providing, like, it's actually making up the difference that was the faster command center. And
tries to come in
still
for the
doing
flank.
pretty well.
Yeah, Andromeda tries to like flank the army with his Reapers, but then the reinforcements come in and he ends up just losing both of his Reapers without really killing anything. KeeN is definitely in firm control in the early stage of this game. It even comes into the main base of the Reapers. Oh, gonna prevent the starport from finishing up. It's gonna delay the medevacs.
Wow, that was so close to finishing up too. It is revenge. Andromeda got his SE building KeeN starport, but this is brutal. This is way more damage than should be happening.
Okay, well this is just 2 Reapers and a couple of Hellions over at the front, killing off 11 workers. By the way, that starport's still not finishing up, but I don't think it's gonna finish this game, Zombie Grub.
No, 18 workers is devastating. That's game over, and that's. Unfortunately, KeeN did not do anything special besides micro, you know, and that's cool and all, but this was not a build that was meant to hit more than maybe 8 SCVs, you know, but not even that.
I mean, I'm gonna do the delayed, like, oh my god, I guess KeeN wins. Like, what?
Yeah, apparently that just happened.
Macro games, Zombie Grub, macro games.
Yeah, so much for that idea. That will send KeeN forward to probably, as I said, I mean, actually, Kanji plays in a lot of our tournaments too, so that might take a while. Kanji versus healer. We'll see. I guess we'll see what else might be available. Anything else looks good?
Yeah, I guess we'll take a look for that in a second while we hop to a short break. So we'll see you guys in just 2 minutes.